Hello everyone and welcome to the Denver Broncos rebuild. Denver is a team that pushing 10 years ago won a Super Bowl and since then have just been on the search for their new quarterback. They thought they found that quarterback with a Russell Wilson trade, which kind of blew up in their face last season as Russell Wilson had by far the worst year he has ever had. I think on paper you look at this team and you think this is a pretty decent roster, but there's definitely some gaps here. I think they're weak defensively outside of Pat Surtain and Justin Simmons, and their linebackers in particular and their defensive line, really the front seven, is not very strong. The Broncos were my favorite team growing up, so I figure what better way to do a franchise than with the team that I once loved that needs my help. Scrolling through the depth chart, it's going to be Russell Wilson, obviously, at quarterback. At halfback, it'll be Javonte Williams, Samaje Perine, and Jaleel McLaughlin was just not in the game, unfortunately. So it's Tyler Batty as the third string. Michael Burton is the fullback. At wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy, who I know is injured in real life and probably won't play week 1, is not injured in this. Cortland Sutton is wide receiver 2. Marvin Mims Jr. is wide receiver 3. The Broncos did just recently sign Philip Dorsett, so he'll be the wide receiver 4. I do have pre-existing injuries set to on, so Tim Patrick will miss the season. In fact, let's go look at those. Tim Patrick with the Achilles tear. Jonas Griffith is out for the year as well. I had to look up the pronunciation, but Enyoma Uwazurike is also injured out for the season, and Jalen Virgil, complete PCL tear, also out for the season. So the Broncos are pretty injured to start the year. I don't have a way to force injuries. So one thing I had to do, as you know, KJ Hamler is technically on the Broncos roster, but he's taking at least a year off due to some heart irritation. He was diagnosed with some illness to do with the heart. I essentially just made him awful. So he is going to be at the bottom of free agency. My plan would be to re-sign him, but it looks like he maybe just retired, which kind of sucks. He is not on the list at all of wide receivers, so that's a little unfortunate. I don't think KJ Hamler is done in the NFL, but he's probably done on the Broncos anyway. The Broncos did release Kendall Hinton, but we could bring him back to be our wide receiver 5. I do think we need a 5th wide receiver pretty bad. Marquez Callaway actually signed with the Raiders in real life, but he was on the Broncos once upon a time. I'm going to sign Anthony Schwartz to be the wide receiver 5. He's only 22, and he's a big time speed demon. 96 speed, 95 acceleration. Needs to work on literally everything else, but at least he's fast. He can maybe be a return specialist. This Broncos team is in one of the toughest divisions in the NFL, that being the AFC West, where the Chargers and the Chiefs exist. Obviously, the Chiefs coming off of a Super Bowl victory, and the Chargers, I would say, have a Super Bowl caliber roster that's just trying to figure it out, really. The Raiders, of course, I think are pretty bad this year, but are always a tough fight against Denver. If you haven't seen one of my rebuilds before, I do like to practice a sort of hyper realism style of rebuild. So I won't just do these willy-nilly trades that basically only benefit me. I'm only going to do things that make sense. And essentially, this is where my franchise breaks off from real life. I try to make everything as close to real life as possible. And then from here, this is my franchise. And obviously, whatever happens in real life happens in real life. So let's get underway. Let's set our season goal. Gosh, it's hard to say with Denver what's going to happen. I do think that they have an okay roster. And if Russell Wilson bounces back, I don't think it's impossible for them to make the playoffs. I don't think I will, though. I think 7 wins is about where I see the Broncos landing. They do have a pretty tough schedule, especially being that you have to play the Chiefs and the Chargers twice. I think 7 wins is what we go for. We've got to choose our draft class. So I personally really like to do auto-generated rookies. I know that this upcoming draft class is the draft class of Caleb Williams, and while that would be kind of cool, I like the auto-generated stuff. It makes for really cool storylines that are very unique to my franchise. So we're going to keep auto-generated rookies. I will say I made it so that draft classes are weaker than average, just because I feel like it's way too easy to rebuild through the draft in Madden games, at least in the past. So really quick, we can take a look at sort of the top few draft picks. Raphael Canty is supposed to be the #1 guy out of Vanderbilt. You've got Brian Bennett, Trevor Alford, Greg Bush. Looks like a lot of defensive linemen here in the top 5. A very defensive heavy draft class, as this is only the second. Zeke Cooks is only the second offensive player on the list. You got tight end Rashad Winters. Deshaun Holiday is a right end. No quarterbacks high up on the list. The top quarterback is Sheldon Jackson out of Penn State, and he's around 1 to 2 guys. So it is a weak quarterback class, though it's pretty deep. There's a lot of draftable guys, but none of them are super, super good. We'll, of course, go through Denver's needs here in a little bit, maybe in the coming weeks. Opening day keys. It's opening day this week, and a fresh start for every team around the league. And you'll be facing the Raiders. You know what? Denver's always had a stifling defense. Let's go stifling defense. It all starts with defense. We plan on making their offense uncomfortable and keeping them off the scoreboard as much as possible. You mentioned making their offense uncomfortable. I don't think there's any way we're stuffing the run with Josh Jacobs being the running back, but I do think that with Jimmy G being their quarterback, we can absolutely disrupt the pass. Beat the Raiders, allow less than 200 yards passing. I don't know about that. So one other thing we need to do is hire and assign scouts. And so we kind of need to do that based on region. National is strong in corner, wide receiver, and safety. We are strong at all 3 of those positions, really. The receiving core is it's good, but it isn't fantastic. I wouldn't mind finding that sort of true wide receiver 1 if Jerry Jeudy can't break out this year. In the West, the strengths are corners and safeties again. You know, I do think there is a world where we trade away Justin Simmons, maybe. If this season isn't going super well, maybe trade him to a contender to free that spot up. Pat Surtain is obviously the building block of this whole defense. He's not going anywhere. So it wouldn't be a terrible idea to look for safeties. See, Central has tight end as a strength, and that is definitely a need of ours. I do like Greg Dulcich, but I don't know if he's the future. In the Northeast, you've got corner, wide receiver, and safety. Wow, I guess those are just the strengths of this whole draft class. Corner, wide receiver, and safety again. And in the Southeast, you've got right end, free safety, and corner. Wow, this is a deep corner class, I guess. Every single region seemingly had cornerback as a strength. So to me, at the very least, it always makes sense, I think, to have the 3-star scout be your national scout. I think that just covers the most ground. And Nicole Hawkins is already our 3-star national scout, and she's got safety and tight end expertise. We are looking for safeties potentially, maybe wide receivers. We're definitely looking for tight ends though, so I actually don't mind keeping Nicole Hawkins. Usually I just immediately fire my people, but maybe we'll look through and actually see if they align with what I'm looking for. And that is our scouts. So we've got our 3-star Nicole Hawkins, safety tight end, which I'm happy with. Central is wide receiver tight end, safety wide receiver, safety corner, defensive end, interior offensive line. And you know, those aren't necessarily our needs. It's just what the strength of the class is, and I'm looking to get the bonuses available. So it's, 25% efficiency bonus for Nicole Hawkins when scouting safeties and tight ends. So, even though it's not going to benefit us a ton, it will let us know those players the best. So we've assigned our scouts. Now we're going to take a look at weekly strategy, and our goal was to stop the pass. So Jimmy G is insane over the middle, 123.6 passer rating. That is absurd. Let's defend medium pass. Just so you guys know, I do play with progressive fatigue off. I do think it would be a really beneficial thing to have on, but in past years it's been super bugged, and it has just ruined the end of my seasons because the whole other team is just out because they're too fatigued. So until I sort of hear that it's working properly, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it off. Let's see. What do we want our offensive game plan to be? We've got Max Crosby, of course, as a pass rusher. That's going to be difficult to work against. They have Marcus Peters as probably their best corner. I would go for throw it short, but the faster pocket degradation scares me. So typically I just default to run inside because I don't like running outside anyway. Plus inside run blocking seems good to me. We'll do that. And then these are the players currently that we have focuses on. So we've got Drew Sanders, who is a hidden development middle linebacker. And honestly, I need to take a look at the depth chart and make sure he's getting ample playing time. Marvin Mims Jr. absolutely makes sense here. He's actually going to be the wide receiver 3 this season with Tim Patrick injured. And he's hidden development as well. So we absolutely want to focus on him. I don't know if Riley Moss is the guy we want to focus on here as a corner. Samaje Perine has star development. I'm a little surprised to see that. I think we focus on right guard Quinn Miners. He's a 79 overall already, but guards don't really get XP the same way other positions do, so I think I am going to focus Quinn Miners. So we'll start the training. Hopefully nobody gets injured. I do have training injuries turned on. We'll scroll down. Offense. No injuries to speak of, which is fantastic. And then for defense, also no injuries. Ooh, we do have some players to upgrade. Quinn Bailey, who's our backup right guard, is a 55 overall, by the way. This is just who the actual backup right guard is in Denver, so I kept it the same. I'm not thrilled about it. Hopefully Quinn Miners doesn't get injured because I don't want the backup Quinn. I want the starting Quinn. And let's get this underway. It's going to be week 1 against the Raiders. Denver, of course, looking to bounce back from what was a pretty terrible year last year where Russell Wilson regressed very hard. The Raiders, of course, just got rid of Derek Carr, their longtime QB, and are now with Jimmy Garoppolo, which feels very much like a lateral movement. I don't think that they improve by picking up Jimmy G, but it is what it is. They obviously like him. I want to say, if I remember the schedule correctly, that we start against the Raiders and then our last game of the season is also against the Raiders. So started off against the Raiders and cap it off against the Raiders. So we will get this underway. Looks like Denver is going to start with the ball as we are underway here in Mile High. This is Moss back to return. He'll bring this out of the end zone, break it left side, and can't even get back to the 25. Would have been better off with the fair catch. And there is the man of the hour. Can Russell Wilson find his MVP caliber form again? Or is this the beginning of the end of the former Super Bowl winner's career? Russ, of course, won that Super Bowl against Denver, so I wonder if it's a little surreal for him to be on the team he'd be in the Super Bowl now. 1st and 10, we'll start off with a Javonte Williams run, and he's got some good running room there. He's up to the 33, a pickup of 12 right off the rip. I like Javonte Williams a lot. Hopefully he can stay healthy. That's one thing Denver has struggled with, is just staying healthy. They're super injured year after year. And we'll hand off to Williams again. Runs into the D tackle, but does pick up 3 yards, and that'll set up a 2nd and 7. So on 2nd down, I'm going to look to throw for the first time with Russell Wilson. We play action, and taking a hit, looking for Marvin Mims, was hit as he throws, and it falls incomplete. I'm not crazy about any of these plays that are available. We'll find Greg Dulcich, and he's got enough for the 1st down. Accurate throw there from Russell Wilson, and to the 44 goes Denver. So on 1st down and 10 from the 44, Wilson takes the snap and is going to dump it off on a screen to Javonte Williams. Missed block from the offensive lineman there leads to only a pickup of 2 yards. I do have the fatigue set quite high, so the rotation of players should happen automatically even without auto subs. But I guess we'll see, as we'll hand it off to Javonte Williams again. He's got another good run. Some good run blocking so far today. So on 1st and 10 from the 41, from under center, Russ will look to throw. He's going to roll to his left, going to look to outrun the defensive line, and he's going to take off down the field, run out of bounds at the 29, and another 1st down. You know, maybe we need to take advantage of Russell Wilson's running ability more so than Denver did last year. 1st and 10 from the 29, 8.5 minutes left to play here in the 1st quarter. Wilson takes the snap and goes play action and is looking to throw, but it's inaccurate in the direction of Courtland Sutton, who probably has a touchdown if that is on target from Russell Wilson. So on 2nd down, we'll hand it back off to Javonte Williams, who has a decent pickup, a pickup of 6, making it a much more manageable 3rd down situation. Right on the cusp of the red zone at the 23. Looking for Dulcich again, and he holds on, breaks a tackle, and doesn't quite get into the end zone. It looked like the ball maybe crossed the end zone, but they're going to say he was short. Down at the 1. From the 1, hand off to Javonte Williams, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Broncos. That offensive drive looked better than pretty much any drive Denver had last season, where their offense was just miserable. Denver gets on the board quickly, takes an early lead. The first touchdown of the season for Javonte Williams after the terrible knee injury he suffered last season. Will Lutz on to kick. Was that Will Lutz? That almost, I thought I made his number 16, but that was 19. Isn't that Riley Dixon's number? How interesting. The depth chart automatically made Riley Dixon the kicker for some reason. So he was on the field, kicked the field. I mean, he nailed it, so I can't be too upset. Then out comes Jimmy Garoppolo. Of course, played in a Super Bowl a few seasons ago now and was unable to bring that home. And I don't really expect him to do much better in the Raiders offense led by Josh McDaniels. In the Tebow era of Broncos football, Josh McDaniels was the head coach and absolutely destroyed the team. So looking to not allow that to happen this time as Josh Jacobs has a pickup of 3 brought down by Josie Jewell. On 2nd down and 7 out of the I formation. Looking to throw is Jimmy G. Has all kinds of time, but it's running out. Randy Gregory gets the initial hit, and he is credited with half a sack. Brought down loss of 13. So now on 3rd and 20, Jimmy G out of the shotgun, surely throwing in this situation. And it's going to be intercepted by K'Wan Williams. Doesn't get a block to try to get it into the end zone, but my goodness, Jimmy G just threw that up and K'Wan Williams jumped right in front of it. Interception for Denver, and they'll take over the 26. Couldn't have asked for a much better start if you are a Broncos fan. On 1st and 10, we'll hand off to Javonte Williams. He can't break out of this. Lucky not to be marked as a loss of 2. Said it'll be 2nd and 10. On 2nd and long from the 26, it'll be play action. And we'll dump this off, looking for Mims, but inaccurate from Russell Wilson. So 3rd down now. We'll go play action again. Looking for Judy across the middle. It's also intercepted. An inaccurate throw from Russell Wilson is picked off as well. And apparently Russell Wilson just cannot throw down the field. Jerry Jeudy was pretty open, and it was just overthrown by Russ. An interception for the Raiders, an interception for Denver, and we will just pretend neither of those things ever happened. Starting from the 15 are the Raiders. A fake to Jacobs. Jimmy G looks to pass deep down the field, knocked out of Hunter Renfro's hands. That's Jackson on the breakup. Over 2 now for Jimmy G. 2nd down and 10 from the 15 for the Raiders. It's again a fake. Jimmy G throws this one away. Wow. Not a great start to the day for Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know if you saw that stat across the top middle. The Raiders currently have negative 13 yards passing. So on 3rd and long from the 15. Jimmy G a fake. And throws it away again. Jimmy G is just uncomfortable in this new look Raiders offense. And they'll have to punt it away. Denver takes over for the first time since the Russell Wilson interception. Just an errant throw, honestly. And it'll be a handoff to Javonte Williams. And he's got a pickup of 7. Already 41 yards on the day for the young man. 2nd and 3 from the 46 is going to be play action. And looking for Mims. It is overthrown again by Russell Wilson. 3rd and 3 now. At this point, like, what do we do other than just run the ball, I guess? And we'll hand it off to Javonte Williams, and he's got the 1st down. At least the running game is working, I guess, because passing game is not. After the Williams run, it'll be 1st and 10, and we'll look to throw with Wilson. He needs to get comfortable, and finds Marvin Mims Jr., the rookie, on the reception, and that'll be a pickup of about 9. It'll be 2nd and inches. 3 minutes left to play in the first quarter. From the 36, it's a handoff to Javonte Williams. He's got the 1st down, but the ball is stripped out, and it's recovered by the Raiders. Javonte Williams coughs up the football, and it's recovered by Vegas. And he definitely was not on the ground. It was just ripped out, I think. They may booth review that. Oh, wow, okay. They are. I feel like that was a fumble. Previous play is under review. Are they saying his knee is down there before the hand lets go? Mims is just completely blocking that. Maybe it is. Maybe it's still Denver football. It is still Denver football. Well, Javonte Williams did not actually fumble. I take it back. So on 1st and 10 from the 34, Russell looked to throw, and he'll just throw it short across the middle again. Just try to get a little more comfortable through the air, and Marvin Mims is injured on the play, as though there aren't enough wide receiver injuries on this team. He's headed to the locker room. It's going to be 2nd and 3. Tim Patrick, KJ Hamler, they're both gone for the season. 2nd and 3, play action. Looking to throw to the tight end, Troutman, but it's knocked away. And it's going to be 3rd and short. For some reason, Troutman is in the game as the 3rd wide receiver now, instead of Philip Dorsett, which is what the depth chart should be doing. Adam Troutman is listed as the backup slot receiver. All right, well, I've changed that in the depth chart. Now Jerry Jeudy's listed as the primary slot receiver. And a bad snap, a handoff to Javonte Williams, and he loses a yard. That bad snap has to be at least slightly credited for that unfortunate play. Denver will have to settle for a field goal, as Will Lutz, the actual kicker, is in the game now. And the kick is up, and it is good. The Broncos take a 10-0 lead early on. Should be much worse, honestly, for the Raiders after the Jimmy G interception, but Denver could not capitalize. A bruised sternum for Marvin Mims Jr., which is essentially just the game's way of saying he has a concussion. He will miss the rest of this game. Jimmy G retakes the field. The Raiders take back over on offense. It's been not great for them to this point. It's a draw play to Josh Jacobs, and he's got a 1st down gain. Pretty big run for him, and he's to the 39. Still no yards through the air to this point for the Raiders as the first quarter is on its way to an end. And it's going to be a fake to Jacobs. That's Josie Jewell. Actually, it was Alex Singleton, rather, in the backfield and forces an errant throw from Jimmy G. He's 0 for 5. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Raiders. And it's a handoff to Jacobs. And he's brought down quickly by Justin Simmons, but still a pickup of 7, making it a much more manageable 3rd down for the Raiders. First quarter will be coming to a close shortly. So on 3rd down, Jimmy G looks to throw, has all day, finds Jacobs, who is not wrapped up. Singleton eventually bringing him down out of bounds. The first completion that was not an interception for Jimmy G on the day. The Raiders in Broncos territory from the 41 on 1st and 10. Jimmy G will look to throw. Throws it quickly to Josh Jacobs. Singleton can't catch him. And he's brought down after a pickup of 7. And that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. We've got 7 passing yards on the day for the Las Vegas Raiders. So that is tough. 2nd and 3, starting the second quarter now. As Jimmy G is going to be brought down, and he fumbles the ball, but he does pick it back up, and he's getting up to run, and then is brought down again by Alex Singleton. So a sack by Purcell, fumbled, picked up again by Jimmy G. He tries to get up and run, and then he's brought down by Alex Singleton. What a crazy play. So that sets up a 3rd and a long 14 from the 45. What can Jimmy G cook up? And he just throws it away again, and I don't think they are in field goal range. Although it is Daniel Carlson, so who knows? They are actually going to punt it away, as Marvin Mims was going to be the return man from now on, but it's still Moss back there, and that is a good punt out at the 8. It's been a good day so far on the ground for the Denver offense, but the passing game has not been great. Russell Wilson has been very inaccurate. A good run from Javonte Williams, another big one. It's a big gain for him. To the 24 goes Denver. 1st and 10 from the 24. Russell looked to throw, and he's going to take a sack. That is Max Crosby in the backfield. On 2nd and 20, Russ looks to throw again, looking for Philip Dorsett, who holds on to the ball. Not a great throw from Russ, but Dorsett makes the catch and comes down with it. A 1st down for Denver. So on 1st and 10, after the big play by Philip Dorsett, Denver will look to run, and it's Javonte Williams again. Gets some good blocking from Cortland Sutton there. That's a pickup of 7, nearing 100 yards on the day already. Russ looking to throw. Looking for Dulcich, who just runs into everyone. Was going to break open. Instead falls incomplete. 3rd down and 3. It's going to be a handoff to Javonte, and he's going to be short of the 1st down yardage. It's going to be 4th and 1 from the 48. Will Denver elect to go for this? They will not. We'll punt it away. We'll see if Riley Dixon can pin the Raiders deep. This looks like it might be a coffin corner. Just need a good bounce. Oh my God, what a punt by Riley Dixon. Out at the 1 where the Raiders take over. Looking to avoid a safety now. Raiders starting from the 1. And wow, they're going to avoid a safety and a lot more as Kareem Jackson gets stiff-armed. And Josh Jacobs gets them to safety out to the 18. That flag indicator is now just up on the screen permanently. That's great. Josh Jacobs on the carry. Okay, it went away. Thank goodness. And it's going to be 2nd and 10 after the pickup for him. 2nd and 10 from the 17. Offset I formation again. It's a handoff to Jacobs again. Brought down by Justin Simmons. A pickup of 4. 6 for 50 so far for Jacobs. He's having a good day. So now it's 3rd and 6 from the 21 for the Raiders. Looking to throw. Running out of time. Simmons just needs to make the tackle, and he does. I think that's Zamir White on the reception. And it's going to be short of the yard to gain. It's going to be 4th and 3. The Raiders will punt it away. Honestly, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think I'm just going to keep running the ball with Javonte Williams because it keeps working. Ooh, but not this time. 14 for 76 and a touchdown on the day already, though. It's going to be 2nd and 10 for the Broncos offense. As Russell looked to throw and looking for Jerry Jeudy, and it's caught. A poor accuracy pass, but close enough for Jeudy to make the grab, and he's up to the 30. 1st and 10 now from the 30. It's going to be a handoff to Javonte Williams. He's up the gut, but is tackled pretty quickly. Only a pickup of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8. On 2nd and 8, Russ goes play action, and Troutman is wide open, and he's into the end zone. Finally, an accurate throw downfield from Russell Wilson results in a Denver Broncos touchdown. Troutman wide open after the play action. Gets into the end zone, the backup tight end. Touchdown, Denver. PAT. Oh my God, I might have shanked this. Oof, it stays in the upright. I thought I shanked it, but it's up, it's good. It's 17-0 in favor of the Broncos. Raiders offense retakes the field. Josh Jacobs currently on 8.3 a carry. So keep giving him the ball, honestly. You guys keep trying to throw it. Keeps not working. I also don't think Devontae Adams has caught a pass yet. So on 1st and 10 from the 25, it is a handoff indeed to Josh Jacobs, but he's only going to get a pickup of 2 on 2nd and 8. And looking down the field, it's swatted away from Jacoby Myers by Pat Surtain. Jimmy G, 3 of 10 on the day. It'll be 3rd and 8 for the Raiders offense. It's a fake to Jacobs. And looking to the right side, it's thrown away again. Ooh, and Frank Clark, one of our best defensive players, is injured here. Limping slowly off the field. Hopefully that's not too serious. That definitely hurts our odds. The Raiders have to punt it away, and the Broncos take back over once again. Hip bursitis for Frank Clark. We're not going to risk re-injury. 1st and 10 from the 28 after the Raiders punt. Be a handoff to Javonte Williams. Breaks a tackle, but then is brought down from behind by Chandler Jones, I think that was. 2nd and 9 now. Russ steps back to throw. Looking down the field in the direction of Cortland Sutton, but it is just way overthrown. And that sets up 3rd and long. So now 3rd and 9. Russ will look to throw again. And Crosby gets off his block. Russ just lucky to get that ball away. And it's going to be 4th down for Denver. They'll have to punt it away. Raiders take back over just before the 2-minute warning. And they'll look to put some points on the board before the half, as it is not looking great for them so far. Josh Jacobs on the carry, breaks Josie Jewell's tackle, breaks Justin Simmons' tackle, and then is eventually brought down. 2-minute warning now. 2nd and 4 for the Raiders. Jimmy G looks to throw, and throwing to the right side. He finds Jacobs again. Singleton can't wrap up. Pat Surtain does, well out of bounds, might I add. 1st and 10 from the 42. Changing the play big time. Jimmy G to throw. Finds Devontae Adams for, I think, the first time today. And a decent gain there to the 41. The Raiders finally actually looking like an offense. It's 1st down. To throw again. Dumps it off to Jacobs again. And he is brought down. Pickup of 6, though. And that sets up a 2nd and 4. And looking to throw again. It's knocked away from Hunter Renfrow. K'Wan Williams had the interception earlier. 1 minute left to play here in the first half. As Jimmy G likely throwing again, and he is. And again, knocked away from Jacoby Myers. That's Pat Surtain. He does indeed line up for a field goal. Carlson, one of the best kickers in the NFL. I fully expect him to make this. Field goal's up, and it's a little left, but it's still through the uprights, and that'll be 3 for the Raiders. After a bad return, Denver takes over at the 17. 50 seconds left to play. We'll hand off to Javonte Williams and just see what happens. And he's got a good carry. He's up to the 35. Let's hurry this up. Now that we got a big play, 35 seconds left to play. Wilson takes the snap. And looking down the field for Dulcich, it's out of reach. He was under pressure again. Second down, looking to get in field goal range possibly for Will Lutz. And looking for Dorsett. He does make the reception. And, wow, that was way too much of a run-off. I should have burned a timeout. Third down. And hit as he throws. Lucky to not take the sack. Denver will just have to punt it away, and that'll lead us straight into halftime. We head into halftime. It is 17-3 in favor of the Denver Broncos, though. The offense has not looked great. The Raiders' offense has just looked worse, honestly. I always like taking a look at this halftime report, see what the scores around the country are here in the first week of the NFL regular season. The Dolphins are playing in LA, and they are winning currently against the Chargers 13-7 just before the half. Tua Tagovailoa having a great day. Head over to Illinois, where the Packers are in Chicago and currently beating the Bears 17-7 also just before halftime. And in Kansas City, the Detroit Lions beat the Chiefs in Thursday Night Football 27-21. Wow, what an upset. The Chiefs start 0-1 and the Lions 1-0. I liked the game plan, but honestly, Jimmy G has been so bad. I'm going to defend the inside run because Josh Jacobs has been killing us. The Raiders will start with the football as Josh Jacobs marches his way onto the field. He's been cooking us on the ground so far. We honestly want them to keep it in the air as Jimmy G has just been downright awful to this point. 1st and 10 from the 25. Jimmy G changing up the play a little bit and looking to throw across the middle. Finds, I think that's Michael Mayer on the reception, and it's pickup of 7. On 2nd and 3, it's a fake to Jacobs and sacked. Down goes Jimmy G. That's Allen in the backfield, and Pat Surtain is in the zone. So on 3rd and 11, it's another fake. Looking down the field, it's intercepted again by Williams, looking for Hunter Renfrow. Jimmy G's picked off once again. And it's Williams again. K1 Williams, 2 interceptions on the day in similar spots on similar plays. Just jumps the route. What is Jimmy G thinking? Look at this throw. He's looking for Hunter Renfrow down the field, and he just underthrows it by a lot. K1 Williams recognizes that, gets the pick. 1st and 10 from the 30. The last time this happened, Russ immediately threw an interception of his own. We'll go play action and dump it off quickly. Oh my goodness, nearly was another interception. We were looking for Jerry Jeudy on that play, trying to get him a little more involved. On 2nd down, Russ hands off Williams, and he's met in the backfield. Nearly at the century mark, but not on that play. 3rd down and 10 for the Broncos. Russ out of the shotgun, takes the snap, looks to throw. Finds Jerry Jeudy, who's got some running room, and he's down at the 12. But another good gain for the young wide receiver. 1st and 10 in the red zone for Denver. And we're going to look to run here with Javonte Williams. Takes the handoff, gets a block. Runs over one defender, but is met by a few others. But down to the 5, a pickup of 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3 inside the 5 for Denver. It's play action. Looking to throw. Maybe looking to run. Russell Wilson punches this into the end zone. Touchdown, Broncos. Spikes the ball into the dirt. And a rushing touchdown for Russell Wilson. You got to remember, he is athletic. I feel like in recent years he's been a lot more of a pocket passer, but not on this occasion. Rushing it into the end zone before he trips inside of the Broncos' O. Will Lutz will kick the extra point. It is up. It is good. It is 24-3 for Denver. Jimmy G has thrown 2 interceptions on the day, both to K1 Williams. We'll see if he can turn it around. 1st and 10 from the 25 after a knee was taken in the end zone on the kickoff. Somehow not handing it off. He looks to throw. It's inaccurate for Devontae Adams. My goodness, Jimmy G is on the struggle bus today. 2nd and long. Just under 9 minutes left to play here in the 3rd quarter. Jimmy G will look to throw again. Is hit as he throws, nearly intercepted again by K'Wan Williams. We'll see what the Raiders can do. Jimmy G, of course, looking to throw again. And nearly intercepted again by K'Wan Williams. He is just a menace in the defense today. The Broncos take back over yet again. And with good field position, honestly, might I add. It'll be handoff to Javonte. Doesn't get very far. It's a pickup of 2, but he is over 100 yards rushing on the day now. Clearly, the increased fatigue hasn't done a whole lot, as we haven't seen Samaje Perine even once to this point. Just try to dump it off to Javonte. And it is a short gain. It'll be 3rd and 2. On 3rd and short, it's a handoff to Williams. And he gets through the defense and has a first down. 21 rushes, 114 yards, and a touchdown. Not a bad day for Javonte Williams. Looking for Cortland Sutton. He has it knocked out. It was an RPO. Sutton was open enough. I pulled the trigger, but we'll run with Williams once more. Breaks off one tackler, but there were just too many. A loss of 1. So it'll be 3rd and 11. Empty backfield now for Russ. Looking for Jerry Jeudy. It's knocked away. Maybe needed to wait a second longer to wait until he broke on that route, but instead it falls incomplete, and Denver will probably have to punt this away. The Raiders at this point just looking to get any sort of coherent offense put together at this point. It'll be 1st and 10. It's a screen for Davante Adams, who's brought down by K'Wan Williams. Only 70 yards on the day for Jimmy G. Surprised he's still throwing to that side. I'd be terrified of K'Wan Williams at this point. 2nd and 8 from the 22. Jimmy G changing up the play a little bit. Somebody on the right there is in motion. Jimmy G throwing down the field. Hunter Renfro's wide open. Chased down by Pat Surtain. Was that Surtain who was supposed to be in coverage? Was that failed coverage from Pat Surtain? An absolute dot from Garoppolo. 1st and 10 from the 40 after the big gain. And they'll be throwing it again, and it's for Michael Mayer. He's brought down after a pickup of roughly 10. It'll be 2nd and inches. 4.5 minutes left to play here in the 3rd quarter. In the I formation now, maybe looking to run. Nope, they'll be passing it again. It's for Adams, and it is knocked away by K'Wan Williams. He's everywhere. 3rd and inches. I mean, you've got Josh Jacobs. I figure they'd be running here, but it looks like they probably are not. On 3rd and inches, it's to Mayer, and it is knocked out again by K'Wan Williams. He is the MVP of this game without a doubt. The Raiders are lining up to go for it on 4th and inches. Surely they run here this time with Jacobs. They do indeed. I think he got it. He did. He powered through just enough. He was met very quickly by Singleton, powered through the tackle. 1st down Raiders. So on 1st and 10 from the 30. The throw is Jimmy G, and it's inaccurate for Hunter Renfrow. 2nd down, they're in that triple tight end set. And it's a quick throw to Davante Adams. He breaks Pat Surtain's tackle and has a 1st down. 3 minutes left in the quarter as Jimmy G will look to throw again. And to the right side finds Austin Hooper, who is brought down after a pickup of 4. On 2nd down and 6 from the 15. Empty set for Jimmy G, so he's obviously throwing. And he finds Davante Adams, who's brought down short of the goal line. It'll be down at the 1. The offense heating up a little bit for the Raiders, evidently. This is definitely the best they've looked ever since that throw to Hunter Renfrow. And Jimmy G finds Davante Adams, but it's not in the end zone. 2nd down from the 1. And it's a handoff to Jacobs, and he punches it in. Singleton did not get there fast enough, and the Raiders chip away at the Denver lead, and it's going to be 24-10 pending the extra point. Carlson's kick is up, and it is good. It is 24-10. Broncos still with a 14-point lead. Oh, a fumble on the kickoff. It's recovered by the Raiders. Riley Moss, our corner, our rookie corner, fumbles the ball. I wasn't even commentating because I didn't think anything important was going to happen. So he breaks a tackle by juking and then is lit up. bang, and the ball just pops straight out. I mean, no denying that one. The Raiders have the ball again and are in prime scoring position. 1st and 10 from the 21 after the fortunate fumble recovery for the Raiders. As Jimmy G throws, finds Mayer, brought down after a pickup of 6. 2nd and short, 2nd and medium really, for the Raiders. And it's a throw to Josh Jacobs, and he's into the end zone. And just like that, the Raiders are within a touchdown before the 4th quarter even starts. They get the fumble recovery. They score another touchdown, and it's going to be 24-17. No fumble this time on the kickoff as I took a knee in the end zone. Broncos take over with a much thinner lead than last time. On 1st down, it's a run to Javonte Williams. He's brought down after a pickup of 2. We definitely need to work on the auto subs. We are seeing Williams a bit too much. On 2nd down, it's going to be play action and firing for Dulcich. He makes the grab, but it's knocked out at the last second. And that brings us to the end of the quarter. The Raiders have definitely picked it up. That is for sure. So we're in crunch time. It's the 4th quarter. Denver on a pretty crucial 3rd and long. Looking to throw and looking for Dulcich. It's overthrown. He was wide open and Russ missed him. It's 4th and 8. Denver will have to punt. The Raiders have a chance to tie this football game after it being 24-3 only a few minutes ago. As Jimmy G looks to throw and throws short of Michael Mayer. In the I formation, 1 tight end there on the left. And it is a fake, and Randy Gregory is in the backfield. A sack and a half on the day for him. Denver has sacked Jimmy G 4 times now. 3rd and 18. Just looking to make sure they don't get this 1st down. And sacked again. Frank Clark in on the play. Jimmy G goes down, just nobody open down the field. It's 4th and 30. With excellent field position, Russell Wilson and the Broncos offense retakes the field after the defense forced the punt. So on 1st and 10, it's a handoff to Javonte Williams. Breaks this to the left side and has a pickup of 5. 2nd and 5. We'll go play action. Looking for Cortland Sutton, and it's knocked away. Again, inaccurate from Russell Wilson. So now 3rd and medium. 9:45 left to play in the game from the 43. Wilson looks to throw and finds Dulcich quickly, but it's dropped. And the Broncos suddenly can't do anything offensively. They're going to have to punt it away again. 1st and 10, the Raiders take back over. Another opportunity to tie this game. From the 20, Jimmy G takes a snap, looks to throw, and it's caught by Devontae Adams. Brought down by Surtain and Jackson. I've now got it so Pat Surtain is permanently on Devontae Adams. I don't know why I didn't have it like that. Changing to the play is Jimmy G. 1st and 10 from the 40. And throwing. Looking down the right side of the field for Renfro. And it is well incomplete. Changing the play up a little bit. Well, actually, both of us are. From the 40. Jimmy G to throw. And looking down the field. And it is incomplete for Jacoby Myers. Inaccurate. 3rd and long. 8:47 left to play. What can Jimmy G muster up? Nothing. Because Zach Allen has 2.5 sacks on the day. Gets in the backfield quickly. Forces 4th and 17. And the Vegas Raiders will have to punt it away again. Broncos take back over. They can ice the game here pretty much with a field goal, as that would make it 2 possessions, but only a pickup of 2. I will be sure to fix the auto subs after this game so that we don't only see Williams running the ball. I apologize for that. As he'll cut this back up the middle, breaks a tackle, and has a 1st down. Javonte Williams, 26 rushes for 132. 1st and 10 as Denver will start to chip away at this clock. From the 36, it's another handoff to who else but Javonte Williams. Outruns a defender, but doesn't get a whole lot of extra yards. 2nd and 7. Just killing this clock. And it's a pitch to Williams, but it's Max Crosby blowing him up in the backfield. It's going to be 3rd and a very long 12. Can Denver convert? I don't have my hopes up, as Russ has been incredibly inaccurate all day. But maybe this is the time where that is fixed, as it goes to Dulcich, just dumped off, and he's short of the first down yardage. It's going to be 4th and 1, and my guess is that Denver is punting it again. So the third possession in a row where the Raiders will have the opportunity to tie, as the Denver offense just cannot do anything of late. Josh Jacobs on the carry has a ton of green in front of him, jukes out Justin Simmons, and then is brought down at the 42 by Kareem Jackson. 1st and 10 from the 42 for Jimmy G and the Raiders offense. It's another handoff to Jacobs, and another big run for Jacobs as his X-Factor ability is enabled. They are quickly in Denver territory. 1st and 10 from the 43. Jimmy G out of the shotgun is throwing and looks for Jacobs, who's brought down by Sanders, and he actually knocks the ball loose. 2nd and 10. They obviously need the end zone here, as it is Zamir White. Randy Gregory looking for the sack on the play. Still gets back into it, and Zamir White has a big gain up to the 30, and Sanders is injured. 1st and 10 from the 30. And Jimmy G looking to throw, throws it away. Dislocated shoulder for Sanders. He's going to miss some time. He'll probably miss at least next week as well, I would imagine, which is really unfortunate, as he has hidden dev, and I want to get that revealed as quickly as possible. From the 30, Raiders throwing. Jimmy G hits Michael Mayer, who's brought down quickly by Surtain. Only a pickup of 2. It's going to be 3rd and 8. This is a pretty crucial 3rd down for the Raiders. Obviously, a field goal does not do a whole lot for them. Looking for Devontae. He drops it. A terrible drop from Devontae Adams forces 4th and 8. Do the Raiders kick a field goal here? They are lined up for the field goal. Do they let Aiden O'Connell, who is currently the holder, do a fake of some kind? I guess we'll see. No fake. It's just a regular old field goal. It's 24-20. Denver still has the lead. The Denver offense back on the field have been struggling big time for quite some time. Most of the second half, really. And it's going to be a quick throw to Adam Troutman, who has a pickup of 7. Honestly, just trying to get Russ comfortable. Oh, and now my backup left end, Henningsen, has a dislocated shoulder and won't be able to return. So Elijah Garcia will be joining the field. 2nd down and 3. Denver getting bit by the injury bug yet again. It's a handoff to Williams. Can't get the 1st down. Is just short on 3rd and short. 2 minutes left to play. In fact, I think I'm going to let this click down to the 2-minute warning. It counts as a penalty. I thought that the actual clock was ahead. Oh, that is not good. That is a big time mistake. So now that makes it 3rd and 6. And is it technically the 2-minute warning? Like, did we just hit the 2-minute warning? I'm not too sure. So to throw, Russell Wilson finds Philip Dorsett. He's got good speed, and he's got a 1st down. The Raiders burn their first time out. Recently acquired Philip Dorsett, making an impact on this game. 1st and 10 Denver. And we'll try to burn out the rest of this clock. Javonte Williams just hoping not to fumble. Raiders burn their 2nd timeout. It's going to be 2nd and 8. 1:50 left to play. 1st down pretty much closes the game out, and Javonte Williams has got just that. Stay in bounds, son. And he does. Raiders call another timeout, but I think it's a little too late, as in the victory formation, Russell Wilson will be able to take some knees, and the Broncos are going to start the season 1-0. The Denver Broncos are going to start the season 1-0, as Sean Payton leads them to a victory, sort of in spite of Russell Wilson, I would say, who had an absolutely terrible game. The offense just couldn't do anything, and anytime a wide receiver was open, Russell Wilson was just missing the throw. So a lot of 3 and outs because Russ just could not make an accurate throw. It was pretty painful to watch, honestly. So if that's pretty much any other team, I don't know if the Broncos get the win there, but they come away with it because I guess the Raiders are just a little bit worse. Take a look at stats. Russell Wilson, 60.9 QBR, had a touchdown in the 1 pick. Jimmy G, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions with 190 yards. We did hold them under 200 yards passing, which was the goal. Look at running. Obviously, Javonte Williams had way too many carries. We do need to look at auto subs, probably make sure that Samaje Perine and maybe some other running backs are getting involved. Receiving, Devontae Adams was 6 for 64. Josh Jacobs, 5 for 56. Michael Mayer, 4 for 25. Greg Dulcich had 3 receptions for 41. Philip Dorsett, who only played because Marvin Mims was injured, was 3 for 47. Jerry Jeudy only had a couple receptions, but did have 44 yards. Adam Troutman had the only touchdown that Russell Wilson threw today, 2 for 35. Marvin Mims, before getting injured, was seemingly pretty involved. He already had 2 receptions, and I believe he was injured in the first quarter. And Javonte Williams had a couple of receptions as well. And then we'll take a look at defensively. Divine Diablo led the way with 5 tackles. Kareem Jackson had 4. We'll look at TFLs. Max Crosby had 3. Zach Allen had 3. Randy Gregory had 3. Frank Clark had 1. Mike Purcell had 1. Divine Diablo had 1. And if we take a look at sacks, Zach Allen had 2.5. So he had 3 TFLs and 2.5 sacks. Like, that seems like maybe he's going to have a breakout opportunity next week. Randy Gregory also had 2 sacks. Mike Purcell had a sack. This is sort of telling me that maybe we need to up the pass blocking for the CPU a little bit. We did have a little bit too much pressure, I think. And of course, K'Wan Williams, 2 interceptions on the day. It was an absolute beast. And Christopher Smith had an interception against Russ. So, Denver, 1-0. Marvin Mims has a skill point upgrade. Actually, we do need to take a look at the injuries now that I'm thinking about it. Let's see, what does Marvin Mims need to work on? He needs to work on his hands. His catching and catching traffic isn't great. His route running in general is pretty mid. He needs better catching traffic and route running, honestly. So I think slot is the way for him. +1 agility, +2 medium route running, and +2 short route running. That's a fantastic upgrade for Marvin Mims. Take a look at the injury report really quick as well. I see that keys to victory thing. We'll take a look at that. So nobody is here actually, but a couple people dislocated like their shoulders and whatnot. Key to victory. We achieved this. We'll see if the game actually recognizes that or not. Say it's a passing lead. We dominate out there, and games like that are a nice boost of confidence for the secondary. Nice. You guys did a great job out there. If we're able to sustain that for the whole year, we're going to be capable of beating anybody. I mean, it's Jimmy G and the Raiders, man. Just don't get ahead of yourself. Failure to launch. All defensive backs earned 4,500 XP. We went ahead and advanced the week, but that's going to be the end of this episode. The Broncos 1-0, and everyone else in the division 0-1. So if the season ended today, which in my opinion it should, Denver would be in the playoffs. So that's a pretty big deal. We do have some players to upgrade for the next one, but I really hope you guys enjoyed. We are going to be playing Washington in the next episode. If you did enjoy the episode, feel free to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really does help me out a lot. And I will see you guys in the next one.